Hello and welcome to Jurasco by night. Sitting here next to the Night Revel trader here, this enormous pumpkin, by the light of the silvery moon, for what will be our level 8 episode of A Shift in Time. Hope everybody's having a good day. And what do we have to share with you here? Gear-wise, very little, to be honest. I found when completing the Feywild expansion this Crown of Fireflies, which I'm sure I had somewhere in on one of my characters, but very good for us at the moment for boosting our heals, so that's gratefully received. Positive spell power and crit, and a little bonus on saves as well, which doesn't go amiss. I neglected to dwell on. I covered the seasons last time, the winter and summer season, but I didn't dwell on the crit side of things because of the wax and wane thing in the enhancement tree. So we've got 8% additional crit chance with spells associated with our season. So it's telling you there what winter and summer is. So summer at the moment, fire, positive, force. So we should see, like if we hover over here, let's switch that off to start with. So at the moment, look, the positive is 216 and 17% to crit. If we put the summer season on, we're up to 231 and 25% to crit. So it's giving us 8 extra crit chance and 15 spell power at the moment, and it's doing the same for fire and force. You can see fire and force above there are boosted up over the 200 mark, so that's quite nice for us. Aside from that, we've not been running any great level of difficulty, just stuck with Reaper 1. Helps me to not run into mana troubles. So all I've got is the 4 fully meted spell-like abilities, the 2 AoEs that we've got, plus Howl for our crowd control. On the subject of crowd control, I've begun to go into the Feydark tree because we've got everything more or less that we want at the moment in Seasons Herald. We've got some nice tier 4 stuff here. The next bit of wisdom can wait. So I'm going to leave it at that for now, and we've gone in here, gone for more spell points and a bit more spell power, and as soon as I am able, which is now actually the next 2 points we get, I'll take the always on shield thing, so I'm not having to mess about then with my little clickable thing. Actually, it would still pay me to do that, because if we look at the description here, the shield spell now provides plus 10 PRR. So if we are trying a bit harder at the cap, say, we could use a shield clickable like the sapphire studded, is it the sapphire studded buckle or something from kind of a big deal in the 12. I think that's 20 odd minutes of shield. So we could, if we feel like it, click on that at the start of a quest to gain an extra 10 PRR from this, or we just leave it alone for an always on shield. Something else that I've been made aware of from talking to, it was quite at random to be honest, talking to a barbarian player, and they were telling me they use the Blood Feast filigree to 5 pieces of that. Apparently when you trigger a rage, you can get bonus hit points equal to your epic and legendary levels, which at the moment for a capped character is 14. So 100 times 14, 1400 hit points as like temporary hit points every time you trigger a rage. Now we have the possibility here. I should probably mention how the rages stack up, shouldn't I? A level 20 character who has rages will end up with 6 by default. You get more as you level. You can see here we've got 6. We started with I think we started with just 1, didn't we? You get a bonus one at 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. I think that's how it works. we also have 1 bonus rage there, 2 extra here, and then here the regenerating 1 rage use every 90 seconds. Now initially I thought, what's the point in taking that, because we'll have ample rages to cover, you know, our quests. But if we are ending, like let's say there's a particularly nasty section coming along and then we want a bank of 10 hit points to cover us through that, we would end the rage prematurely with that dismiss rage, equip the weapon that has the blood feast thing on it, and then re-trigger the rage for that tasty 10 hit points. In legendary content with things hammering you for 1,000 plus if they hit nastily, that kind of a buffer can be the difference between life and death. So I was quite interested hearing that. It's something I totally hadn't planned for, but I'm going to attempt to give that a trial at the cap and see how we go on with it. I don't want too many buttons, I don't want too much clutter on the bar, too much stuff to complicate, but I think, because we do have a source of 10 hit points here as well, Winter's Heart, it's on a minute's cooldown and 8 times wisdom. Now if we say we end up with roughly 100 wisdom, so that's 800 10 hit points. That coupled with this thing, that's already over 2,000. So that's some serious defensive barrier if I can remember to do these things. If it gets to a stage where I'm just getting confused with it, I'll just have to drop it and deal with it. But I'd like to think that if I can organise the things in such a way on the bar, like all in the same place, maybe we could do something good with that. Nothing else to report on this side. No feats or anything, is there? So yeah, I thought we would have a go at where are we? The little quest in here, the Red Willows Ruins, as a bit of a starter. Where is it? Is it down there? Now what level to put? I think we'll just leave it on 1. I'm not going to do anything crazy. We don't exactly have an incredible heal at the moment to heal us through the Reaper nerf if we're in trouble in the middle of a combat, so I guess that's one reason for leaving things as they are. It's my
haggard-looking halflings can be spied through the thick jungle foliage.
It's my hope when he gets to the cap that he'll be able to do quite a lot of Reaper 6 content on his own, as he used to do as a Dragonborn. I'm hopeful we can still do that, but I'll be discovering, as mentioned already, the Magus Destiny, which is completely new to me. I'll be discovering that for the first time. I'm going to do my best to invest us in things relevant to that. So the Arcane Pulse, which I've never used before, but which does synergize quite well with our build because we're spec'd for force. There is a bonus to that in the Magus tree. I think it stacks up to 7 times, doesn't it, instead of 5 when you are in that Magus tree. So maybe we could try and make use of that too. Now trolls are vulnerable to fire, aren't they? I think we had a spell either fizzle or not targeted properly there. But my tactic for now is just going to be to go into the middle of them, hit them with the flame strike, and then the thorn bloom to finish. Hopefully that will be enough in most cases.
Reeking of rotting meat and roasting, several camps are strewn throughout the area. Each camp boasts well-armed patrols to scour the area.
Yes, nice. As mentioned before, no metas at all on these. So we're running reasonably lean. The metas are on the spell-like abilities there, which I guess we're using as our finishers.
The sand shifts to reveal a small brood of night scorpions. Trolls huddled together in the jungle here.
Might be advised to do a shout here, might we? Didn't even need the follow-up thorn thing. They all died to the first one, didn't they? The flame strike. Maybe that's because the Howl of Terror does actually cause helpless. That assault ray is hitting particularly hard, isn't it? Well, that's another one that's boosted up from the summer season.
Goblins have created a small warren.
Oh, that was pathetic. Got to try and hit them with the flame strike before they have a chance to move away. That was a bit better. And I think the summer season is helping Thornbloom as well. I'm noticing more crits now on that spell. Research notes. Have we? I think we've missed one back here, haven't we? Or should I say I? And a chest.
All of the lost items Red Willow described.
This would have been a nice spot to DDO at, but as we don't have one, we're gonna hot-foot it back. I think I just heard scorpions jumping up behind me. Sure enough, here they are.
You have returned the items to their caretakers. Inform Red Willow. Red Willow has opened a gate that leads to the culprit behind this invasion. A hill giant named Torquemada. Red Willow's gateway deposits you into the center
Okay,
of a
where are we?
Something here is not right.
Gonna have to do a shout here, I think. Oh, what happened there? Unless he was immune, maybe he was immune to fire. I could have sworn I'd targeted him. Thought I heard somebody. Nice.
Well fortified and
Right, can we sort of make a bit of a blockage here?
You will need cunning.
Nice job.
He has struck a deadly blow. His hold over the goblin tribe is shattered.
So yeah, that was a lesser vigor I cast, and we saw a crit there for 50 some. Remember at the start it was doing like single figures even after out of the Reaper nerf. So that little helmet we've equipped is doing a good job for us. As is the fact that we're now in the summer season. It's helping our positive spells to crit more often. So I thought now we could maybe go and do the first couple of bits of Sorrowdusk, because it's been a while since we did that. What's the best way to get there? Beneath maybe? Actually there's a teleportal just next to us. Yeah, I wouldn't imagine this chain gets run too often with all the other content that there is around. People would be going from Fey to Dread, I guess, especially if they are either VIP or running potions. They'd be having more XP than I would from running the same amount of content at this stage. So I would imagine this gets run very little these days. But it's nice sometimes to try something a little bit different. Okay. Now I think I'm right in saying the last time we were in here we tried Reaper 4, didn't we? Because it is relatively softer content.
In the hollow to the north waits Ruku, elder of the Grey Moon tribe. By the wretched smell, these ogres must have recently dined on the flesh of fallen adventurers. The lift here leads down to a long abandoned
Let's give it a go.
mine. It is now home to ogres.
Particularly prone to spike damage, I guess, but let's try. As one of the bear party likes to say, what's the worst that can happen? Okay. Oh, I did replace the displacement, the lesser displacement thing, although on Reaper 4, I'm talking about the thing in the shifter tree, but on Reaper 4 that's not going to do so well for us. On 1 it would have been strong. Yeah, we're going to be one-shotting things a lot less here. And the cold thing, that's really taking its time to bring things down, isn't it? Come on, I don't want to waste any more mana on you. I'm going to have to, nope. Okay. Happy last tick.
You hear faint voices coming up from the hole, but
I'm pretty sure the Salt Ray stun does cause helpless, so any follow-up is getting bonus damage. The fact these things are coming at us in 1s and 2s is fairly helpful as well, although the fact there's a Plague Reaper down there is less so. Powder, that's a boss, isn't it? Yeah. Got absolutely tonked there, didn't we? Let's just see how good the healing is now with the cure moderate. Nice. Now these things are quite capable of one-shotting us. Go halfway, stop.
Depths beneath you. To fall into this chasm would be certain death. You see movement in one of the cells ahead. It may be Achka.
Oh god, fire against fire opponents. It was only a matter of time before I messed up again. That salt ray is doing really nicely. Just waiting for the cooldown, and there we go.
Achka runs out of his cell and disappears down the hall.
Okay, I think we've seen both the good and the bad there. We have decent damage with these method single target things, but if we let something get close, as I let several things get close, they can take big chunks out of you very quickly.
The lift here leads down to a long abandoned mine. Now for ogres.
I've always been pretty pathetic at dodging attacks in the game, hence why later on I'm going to try and pick up the deflect arrows thing out of the Vistani tree. As a druid we do get Storm Rage later on, which is an option if you know there are archers coming. Just hit that spell and you get deflect arrows given for those, what is it, 18 seconds or something like that. But asking me to do something like that and to remember it, that's a big ask. So I think always on deflect arrows would be better for me, especially as I'm crap at dodging anything. I try and build the character up to be more defensive to make up for the many shortcomings I have. Or as people would be quick to say, it's a problem between the chair and the keyboard. Right, so try not to let things get too close. Yeah, the creeping cold, it's just not, it takes too long, doesn't it, to wear a target down. In our situation here, we really want stuff to be gone like quickly, so it's not able to hammer us. Oh, just die. Right, let's be careful here. The detection is always a bit fiddly here. So many people, I think, in hardcore have died doing this one. Okay. Try and get rid of the big one first. He saved against us. Okay.
This door stands open. It doesn't take a Kalashtar to sense that the ogres want you to go in.
Any more for any more? I'm sure there was one more here. No? I think... Do we just push on here? I think we do.
The air shimmers with heat from the machinery in this chamber. You hear shuffling from the ledges above.
Okay.
The sound of faint, brutish laughter comes.
Yeah, I think there are things on the sides here, aren't there? Yeah. I could try and just YOLO down there to the end, but I run the risk, I guess, of having these coming wandering up behind me, so I don't particularly fancy that. I think we'll go now.
Lord Groost glowers at you from his throne in the roar of rage.
Lovely. Have we got things? Yes, I thought we might have. Trying to dodge a bit better, yeah. Again, I totally should have some of the non-meted versions, especially the lightning one here, possibly the salt ray also, so I'm not waiting, you know, running around looking silly waiting on cooldowns. That's just me being silly and not wanting too much clutter on the bar, but it's totally wrong, that. I could and probably should replace this this creeping cold thing with one of those. I think I'm going to do that. Simply because it's on a reasonably long cooldown, and it's taking too long to bring anything down, so it almost isn't worth casting at the moment. I think we're going to go with an extra copy of the lightning, so we know we'll always have that off cooldown if we want some damage on a target. I think there's been more focus on these things so far in this chain because contrary to many chains, things have come at us in ones and twos here, haven't they?
In the hollow to the north waits Ruku, elder of the Grey Moon tribe. The overgrown jungle does its best to obscure the caved-in.
I quite like the wilderness here, and I mean that it's some people would say, oh, I can't be bothered running to quests. I don't mind the odd, especially now we've got horses to use, or panthers, or lizards, or whatever you're riding on these days. It's not that long of a deal, is it? And there is a little bit of immersion there, you know, riding to the thing. I mean, that's D&D as well, isn't it? I mean, I could make the argument that for a long time I never saw the Ravenloft wilderness area because there were teleporters to the front of every quest, whereas in something like Feywild you have to walk to the quests. It's not that far to get to them, and you do see what is, in my opinion, a really nicely done wilderness area. So I think I can see positives to both approaches. The teleport version, which many like for obvious reasons, and the non-teleport. I think if there were no teleporters in the Mythdrana expansion, people would probably give up and go home. Now I think we have to more or less open all these, don't we, in this one? I think there's the odd one that we don't need to do, but most of them I think we do. Shout. Nicely done. Have to beware of going into the middle. I think that's an optional ogre collaborators, isn't it? We've got to get the trolls, haven't we? But I don't know where the trolls are exactly. Yeah, going into the middle of the Mon Reaper 4 is not going to end well for us if we make a habit of that. Shout. Oof. Yeah, that was an illustration. Champion saved against the shout, absolutely hammered us. Why am I even in here? No reason.
You hear heavy breathing and guttural laughter. The leaders of the ogre collaborators are ahead.
Shall we give ourselves the luxury of having quicken at least on that thing? I think we will. It's going to drain the mana a bit, but in these short quests I think we'll be alright. Again, I don't know why I went in there. Could do with shouting that one. Tell you what we should do as well, we should quicken our howl. So we can go in there, howl, and do the business.
The ogre collaborators are no more. Grey moon, your eyes begin to water. The reek of trolls might make you retch.
Can we possibly just avoid all those things there? Is he? Yeah, no, yeah, okay, good.
You hear growling in the slap of
Now
the
he
breach
can
against
be
stone.
made to come to us, can't he?
Troll chieftain
Could possibly even be
sets
killed
out
down there. Crikey, he's got a lot of health, or we're doing very little damage.
crashes to the
Now this is the problem, isn't it? We have to cross the chasm there. We can't open these. These doors have trolls in which need to be killed, but as far as I know, we can't open them before we've gone across this thing. So now they're going to come down. Now if the left hand side doesn't come down, that means there's an optional there, and we have to go back across the bridge, which I think is going to happen. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, one left, and he's sitting up there in that room. Now if we had a fellow party member who could go and do that, that would be just hunky-dory, but unfortunately we do not. So what are we going to do here? Something like that, perhaps. Did I mention how nice these wings are?
the last is troll
Okay.
slain.
Just to reiterate, there's absolutely no logical reason for doing this on you see that you're not getting a prodigious amount of Reaper XP, but the
To the south lies
danger
the
level
entrance to the
is ramped
caves
up
of the
quite a
Grey
lot.
Moon Ogre
So
Clan, driven out
if it's
by
Reaper XP you're after, in my opinion at least, you're much better off waiting until the cap, the legendary cap, to boost the level, and then pushing it, preferably with a group, and seeing what you can get there. think you'd be surprised. I certainly was. People who just stay on the, doing Reaper 1 on the TR hamster wheel, maybe over time you could collect 40, 50 Reaper points. But if you have a go at the cap and spend a bit of time there, quite quickly you're going to be getting way in excess of that. Even repeating quests that that you've already done at the cap, so not getting the first time bonus, even with that, some of the quicker ones like the gatekeeper chain, they can be done in a few minutes, and they give I'm not saying you should repeat that every day, by no means, but they can, just as an example, they could take a few minutes to do, and they'll give you 2000 Reaper XP a time. That's with no potion or anything like that, and having already done the quest at the cap. I just found it was a nice challenge to sort of discover that side of the game. For a long time I did the TR thing. Don't be fooled into the trap of thinking, oh, I can't try that kind of thing until I've got all these lives and those lives, and the nonsense. The good players, which I hasten to add I am not, can take a first or second life character to the cap and do extremely well in the higher Reaper content. So there's potential there for any, as long as your build and your gear are decent, you can really shine at the cap if you want to have a go. Don't let the lack of past lives stop you from trying. Past lives, to me at least, are just the icing on the cake. The player's skill, which again I don't have very much. The quest knowledge, very important. Crikey. And the gear. All three of those are much more important than any past lives you could have.
You hear faint snarling from the darkness beyond.
We've got Featherfall on, yes. Now there is a toggle here. The purists would say just switch it on when you need Featherfall. I tend to run with it always on with my Druid at the cap, so it's not terrible. I think I've mentioned it before. 3 dodge, not bad if you're below your dodge cap, and that chance to knock down an enemy who strikes you is quite nice as well, although as a caster you would prefer not to be struck too often, of course. Okay, what we're doing here, people? Are we going to launch that down there, maybe? No, I don't. I think they might be immune to the fire element, but oh my god. No! Just hate these ooze. And that's why you don't split the ooze, because you can get Reapers spawning. Oh my goodness. That was terrible. So yes, I used a Thorn Bloom, so piercing damage, and the ooze just got split by it. And of course every ooze you kill can potentially spawn a Reaper. At the worst extreme, we had this with the bear recently on running 2 ranged builds, so both with piercing damage, both hammering a pack of oozes, and there were ooze everywhere. So we had red dungeon alert plus Reapers, half a dozen Reapers all over. Needless to say, we didn't last very long, so we learned to respect the ooze a bit more.
You'll have to search for a way to lower the drawbridge. The chasm's too wide to jump.
Oh, he had an extra life, the beggar. Do I not like that? I think, is it the hero and the life one who have the fresh set of health when, well, it's like a death pact, isn't it, I guess? That was shambolic, to say the least. I think the only defense I've got is as I'm leveling up, I'm constantly reorganizing things, pressing wrong keys and what have you. It usually takes me a while to, with a character, to get into a bit of a rhythm, and I can't at the moment because we're constantly changing what we're doing. Here I like to try to invis past all this nonsense and just run to the end if we can.
Ogrish runes were carved into the wall here, but have been scratched into illegibility by troll claws.
No, you muppet. And is there a reaper down there?
The party has reached the deepest part of the Grey Moon Den.
Nice. Oh, there's a reaper now. Okay, yeah, that'll teach me for trying to cut corners, won't it? Did we get the reaper thing there? Yeah. Sometimes when you don't quite kill the 10 monsters, obviously you forfeit your Reaper XP, which, having boosted the difficulty, would have been rather silly to then forfeit the XP. Okay, I think that about does it for this one. Not too bad. Still getting into the swing with all these things and the cooldowns and the fact these AoEs are not quickened, so they're a bit ponderous to cast. I should probably have just put the quicken meta magic on for everything for this this little chain, because the quests are so short. Even with quicken on everything, I'd have had to go some to run out of mana, so that's another mistake I made. But even so, we seem to not do too badly, so I'll take that. Thank you very much as always for looking, and I'll have a think about what to try for the level 9. Take care.